I'm number 7. We all die. The goal isn't to live forever, but to create something that will. Memories. I'm not going to tell you about one point in my life, but I'm going to tell you all of it. So all my grandparents are dead. Okay, I'll rephrase that. So when I was born, all my grandparents had already passed away. But to me, that was something to kind of look at and was like, I didn't know them, but I had that feeling when you say you know someone, say you look on someone's like social media profile, like, okay, if I meet this person, I'm going to know everything about them. And to me, that was the same with my grandparents and how my mom and dad introduced them to me. I thought they're like living down the street. That's how I envisioned it. Now, sometimes you get the grandparents, they come out to the grandson's baseball game or at the family reunion, the holidays, and they go to your first communion, your confirmation, and your high school graduation. But mine couldn't make it. There was one day in 5th grade. It was his grandparents' day. So you can kind of think about how that went for me. I couldn't bring anyone. I was the only kid. I came home to my mom and I was crying, and she asked why I was crying, and I said, I miss Nanny. That's what we call my dad's mom. And she cried too, because she understood that I didn't know them, but it felt like I did. So when I was 12, I thought death was something that was terribly sad. That, like, how could anyone recover from this? Like, my parents have taken this weight for 20, 30 years, their parents are gone, and I didn't move on. But when I was 13, I really experienced death. I lived in North Carolina, but originally I'm from a really small town in Connecticut. And in my community, there's maybe 100 families, so everyone was pretty much family. In particular, I had a neighbor named Gail, and, well, I called her Auntie Gail. When I was younger, me and my brother, we used to cook her kids, and we grew up and we started to separate, but we were always really close. And I was about to move to North Carolina, and she passed away after a long fight with cancer. Went to the funeral, went to the church, and I looked around, and I saw distant family members were crying. Her kids went to speak, and they were sobbing. I looked down my pew, my mom, my dad, my brother, all crying uncontrollably. Then I went to myself in my own seat. Nothing. I wasn't crying. I couldn't. I didn't know how to deal with it. Even my brother, who was still young, had dealt with death before, but I was pretty much void of emotion. I didn't know how to react. So there I was 13, and I thought, death happens. Move on. 2 years later, it came back again. When I was 2, my brother adopted this little, tiny chocolate lab, and we named her Tess. That was Nanny's real name. That's how we kept my grandmother alive. And losing an animal is, in some ways, equivalent as losing a human. They can only give you unconditional love, especially dogs. So this was back when I was 15. I came home from school one day, and my mom already told me that we were going to put the dog down a couple weeks ago because she was in pain and we didn't want her to bear that. And I come home, I see my brother and my dog Tess in the back porch, and he's just lying there with her. I go upstairs, I come back down in the middle of the night, he's still there with her. I wake up and go to school next morning, and he's still there with her. He didn't want to lose her, like her actual body, but he wanted to live with her the rest of his life, because that was him. That was like the embodiment of all that he loved. And she was ripped away from him. But all that changed when I was 17. Another encounter with death. But this was different from all the others. Someone died, and I was jealous of the person that was grieving. That sounds sick, disgusting. Let me explain. Going into my senior year of high school, my dad lost his lifelong friend, Angelo. They played baseball together, they worked together, knew each other for 30, 40, 50 years. And the pain, the despair, the distress, the agony, the heartbreak he felt. Looking at him, the emotional and mental impact, I thought my dad was the one that was going to die. He would make trips back and forth to North Carolina and New York. He was offering to sacrifice parts of his body, his organs, just so his friend could live. And to me, that's an awful experience. I wouldn't want to go through that, but I was jealous. I envied that my dad had so much honor and faith that he would stay loyal to his friend, that he would do anything, he would give up his life. That's what made me jealous. So I come back here and I'm 18. I reflected on everything. What was so different when I was 12, when I was 17? How could death go from something so terribly sad to having me feel no emotion, to making me jealous? And as cliche as it may seem, I realized that death isn't the end. Not just the end for the people that are leaving, but it's also not the end for the people that are staying here. Because you get to want to celebrate it. It's going to be sad. You're going to have to bear every single day with it, just like my parents do, and just like I do with people I've lost. But it's something you have to experience and something you have to go through. So, people still tell me that death is the end, whether it's from cancer or some other disease, a natural disaster, some sort of accident. They say it's over. Even in military, someone once told me that when someone goes into combat, people die when they're killed, and that's the end. that they have nothing else to live for, and they're gone from this earth. Andrew Escobar once said that brave men don't last long, but they live forever. But that doesn't apply just to brave men. That applies to everyone. The feelings, the emotions, the connections, the bonds you have with those people, those transcend death and stay with you for the rest of your life. People only die if you let them die. They only disappear when the memories do.
Okay.